And joining us now, MSNBC political analyst and founder of Futuro Media Group, Maria Hinojosa. Maria, it's always good to see you. As Julia just mentioned, the majority of these Haitian immigrants are here legally. They have protected status. They were filling jobs in Ohio that were open, that they needed their work for. What is your reaction to Trump's repeated false claims?
Surprising, but not surprised. The Haitian people, who are such honorable people, remember how our country, our hearts poured out in the earthquake in 2010, how we were just so overwhelmed with love for Haiti and Haitian people. But historically in our country, in our city, in New York, which is a major Haitian community, there were times when Haitian people were being blamed for creating AIDS and bringing AIDS into New York City. So the Haitian people know about being targeted. By the way, I also know Ohio, and Ohio is an open carry state in terms of guns. And you know how much people love their pets. There is no way that Ohio, where you have guns and people are going to be allowing these people to walk away with their cats and dogs. Somebody's going to be taking out a gun and saying, you're not taking my dog, which is why it's not happening. It's not true. And I'm glad that we are continually doing the fact check, because it's a lie.
Well, and on top of it, you have the impact of the lies with a bomb threat we mentioned that forced the evacuation of City Hall, 2 schools, the state's DMV, the mayor saying these threats were a hateful response to immigration in our town and that the community is hurting. And just this morning, in fact, we're learning that J.D. Vance is tweeting about this. And let me read you what he just tweeted. Don't let biased media shame you into not discussing this slow-moving humanitarian crisis in a small Ohio town. We should talk about it every single day. Kamala Harris did this, and she'll keep doing it unless we stop her.
Yeah, and what's happening in Springfield and in other communities where there are Black immigrants, and many, many of the new refugees and immigrants who are coming to our cities and our countries are Black. They are vulnerable. They are being targeted yet again because of their race.
And Trump's campaign will not let this go. They don't care that the officials in the town are saying this isn't true.
And having just been in South Florida with many Trump supporters who are Latinos and Latinas, as I hear this and I saw the debate, I was saying they will believe what he's saying and they will double down on this story of cats and dogs and pets. But, I live...
But why? Why are they likely to believe it?
There is something about the way that Donald Trump delivers, this kind of strong man. We saw it in the debate. He, says sentences with 5 words. It just kind of comes at you and repeats. This is what an authoritarian and a strongman looks like. And in parts of these communities, they can identify with a strongman that is saying, I'm going to protect you. And that's why I was seeing among many Venezuelan refugees, when they can vote, that they're saying they're going to vote for Donald Trump. But, I live part of the year, some parts of the year, in a community in the Dominican Republic that has many Haitians, actually, because there's a lot of construction. And I was talking to the cab driver this morning, and he was like, Dominican, and he was like, remember, we never hear about this in the Dominican Republic, where you have tens of thousands of Haitian immigrants and refugees living there. Never, nunca has there been this story of them taking cats and dogs. So, no, it's not happening, and we have to continue to repeat that. It's just not true.
I want to come back to another piece of the immigration issue and the border security. The numbers that Julia brought up, the Border Patrol numbers from July show encounters at their lowest monthly total since September of 2020. Remember, that was a pandemic month. So the numbers have been low because of that as well. So we have the facts that counter much of what we're hearing from Donald Trump and his allies about migrants. Why do you think Trump remains so focused on fear-mongering about migrants in the border?
Well, we know why he's doing that, because it works for him, right? Because he doubles down and it works for him. All he's been able to say is build the wall. That's a major part of his campaign. I think the question is, what does Kamala Harris and her campaign do? And I was not satisfied with her responses in terms of the debate. She needed to be stronger and to say, those are lies. What you are saying is lies. They need, and especially Kamala Harris, who is the daughter of immigrants, she needs to take this issue and flip the narrative completely, which is what I continue to say ad nauseum. She needs to have a national address, prime time, to say, this has got to stop. It's not true. I'm an immigrant. I am the story. I am the success, and this is who we are. And to people watching, they need to just open their eyes. In fact, immigrants, like we just heard in Springfield, they're doing the work. They're building up the economy. The Brookings Institute just released a statement saying immigrants create jobs and create wealth. That's the Brookings, not a leftist organization at all.
No. And those are the facts. Thank you, Maria Hinojosa, for bringing that to us.